Hey folks, welcome. Today we're going to be building a Next.js PWA app. Also, we're going to discuss why we're going to be using the PWAs and how can we configure it with our Next.js application. So let's go. Let's talk about PWAs. PWAs are called also progressive web applications. And what they are, actually, they are like you can have your web app also installed to your computer, your mobile, and also it doesn't matter like which operating system you're using. Is it Mac, Windows, or is it like Android, whatever it is, you can install it. If you have already faced such a situation, if we are, for example, going to go to Twitter, you might see the same icon at the top part in here that it asks us to install it. I think, yeah, you see that it asks us to install it right here, the top part. That's it. That's what we're going to be building. If you click on that part, you see that we can install X. And when I clicked on that, you see that X is already coming as an app inside my Mac like this. Okay, so we can have it. We can use it. And why people are using PWAs? PWAs give like a feeling of native app. Like it seems that it is a native app inside my computer. It's already installed. Let's see here. It's called X. See, as soon as I type X, the X is here installed. All right, guys. So before going through the app and building this app, let's go ahead and check it out why we are going to be using progressive web apps and what are their advantages and what are some of their disadvantages. Okay. The first advantage that it mentioned here is offline mode. What is offline mode? Basically, PWAs are using service workers behind the scenes to cache the whole page and or even like the whole app, the assets and stuff, and then it can be accessible even while you do not have internet. The next benefit is improved performance. In this text, you see that it said 53% of users abandon a site if takes longer than 3 seconds to load. And because, as I explained just a minute before, that PWAs utilize something so-called the service workers, and they are JavaScript files which run separately from the main browser thread, and that makes it that we can cache all the assets, all the HTML files that we have, and then it helps us to improve the performance and to make our web app so fast, okay? And then the next benefit is no installation or manual updates. What this one means is that if we are building separate applications for the web, for the desktop, for the mobile, then on that case you need to first of all spend a lot of money on it. And then after that, we anytime that you build a native app, it doesn't matter if it's on Mac or PC or like Android or iOS, on that time you need to update your app manually, like the user need to install it again and again. But in this case, it is a PWA. It fetches the data and everything from the web. That's it. Okay. And it's also not platform specific. It just depends to your browser. It's not platform specific that you need to develop on each of those platforms a specific application. Okay. And works on low data. As I already explained, it caches the data, and that's why it is easy to load even if you're living in South Africa or some countries with your low network connection, okay? And then you are independent from App Store and you do not need to wait for its verification and pay money for that, and that's it. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about its disadvantages. Some of the disadvantages are like compatibility with iOS. Since iOS 11.3, iOS can also handle PWAs, but if we are talking about some older versions of that, then in that case it might not work fine, okay? And it is true with some legacy devices, except the iOS as well. Like some of the legacy devices might not support this. And on top of that, it because it is basically a web app, and it might not be so much performant and great with animations and stuff and the smooth animation that we have in native apps. So this also can be one of its disadvantages. All right, now to know all these things, let's go and build this thing with Next.js. The very first thing that we are going to be doing is to have a folder called Next PWA app. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to open this folder in my VS Code. I'm going to open a new window for my VS Code like this. You can see it. I'm going to drag this folder inside here. All right, I'm trusted. Nice. And let's put it in this side of the screen. And I'm going to bring another one, which is going to be our browser in the other side. So let's go ahead and have a new window and boom, that's it. So we're going to have this in the other side. Let's put it side by side to, yeah, to be able to see them both easily. Okay. All right. The first thing first that we're going to be doing is to install Next.js. How we're going to install Next.js, let's go and check it out. Next.org installation. And boom, it's like this. Just like this, okay? We're going to install it, npx create next app latest folder name. We're not going to name the folder because the folder is this folder. So we're going to put a dot. We are going to use TypeScript, sure. ESLint, yes. Tailwind CSS, no. And then the app router, yes. And then the alias, no. That's it, boom. Just wait for a second that it installs the Next.js, React router, and everything like that. And then we're going to go and we'll work with the PWA part. All right, so the packages are installed now. The next thing that we can do, let's go ahead and just run this. Okay. And boom. The warning is regarding the console ninja, which I'm using. You shouldn't care about it, okay? All right, guys, the next thing that I'm going to be doing is that I found this package on the internet. It's called Nix PWA and spelled with by this person. And it's great. It's the latest one and it is the easiest way that we can implement Next PWA. So I'm going to go and follow the instructions in this documentation. Alongside with that, I'm going to give some information like how these things are working and what actually it is. All right, guys, now that we have already installed everything in here, let's go ahead and try to start working with it. So the very first thing that we need to do is to bring this code in our next config.mjs, okay? We're gonna paste the whole command right here. In here, you can pass your Next.js configurations if you want it, okay? As you're seeing, this is the initial part of it, but if we want to have more, like for example, it says that if our deployment platform requires us to have the some specific image size and the image should not exceed from that, then we can use this code. Okay. But right now, I think I do not need it. Just the only thing that we are going to add is this, that we are going to add the strict mode to true in our Next.js configuration. The step 2 is to add our manifest.json file. For that, I found this website. It is hosted on Netlify. We can generate with the help of this one, okay? So I'm going to the name is going to be Bucker Next.js PWA, okay? And the short name is BNPWA. And the color, we're not going to attach anything. It's standalone. We're going to have the standalone and also the landscape or portrait. It's not too much of a problem. And that's it. And then we are going to submit an icon. For the icon part that we need to submit, I already have here a svelte icon. I know it's not relevant, but it's just an icon that we have here right now. And let's submit it. When you submit it, it will download the configuration files here. And let's wait a little bit. Yep, right here. I'm gonna extract it and boom, it's extracted right here, and it has the manifest.json and images. So we're going to drag this whole thing to our VS Code in the public folder. All right, I'm going to drag it, and I want to bring that in the public folder. The images are icons with different sizes, you see, guys. And then we have got the manifest.json, the information regarding those icons, and also there's some global information that we have set in this website. All right, so the next thing, if we come to the documentation, we see that we need to add some metadata. So I'm gonna copy this whole thing. Okay, just let's copy it, Control C, then coming to the layout.tsx and just paste it instead of this metadata that we have right now. Control V. And you see that there's 2 times that we imported metadata, and I'm going to just remove the first metadata import. Okay, just remove it. Boom, that's it. And now it looks good. So we're going to say, just change some changes. My awesome PWA app here yeah, so that's it. That's how it is. You see, it refers to that manifest.json and some Apple web app stuff. And then we have some open graph as well, the data, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's sort of looking good. Okay. And now let's run the app and see if we have done our PWA. Okay. npm div. Yep. And then let's run it. Let's just close that other one that we already had. And let's run this one. Boom. And you see, guys, that our app is already here, and you see this beautiful icon right here. This is the icon for the PWA, and you see the back here, Next.js PWA with the svelte icon here. So I'm going to install it, that you can see as well. When it's installed and we come to here, you see that this is my app, guys. All right, so let me close the Twitter. Yeah, this is my app here, and it's a PWA app right now. All right, guys, so we made it, and right now you see that because we've already have that app installed in my computer. That's why you see just open. There's an open link instead of that download link. Okay. So yeah, coming back to the documentation, we have so many more options here. If you go to the configurations, you see that for each part, we have different options like cache and front end nav. So if your website has the different, the nav, like with the using with the link tag from Next.js or the uh, some style sheet that you have, so it caches those things. Does it do that or not? These configurations are useful when you have a little bit more like complex app. So for that case, for example, disable here from here, the next thing that I like is to disable. We're not gonna run each time that we are in the development this configuration. In the next config, you see it should be disabled when we are in the development. Okay, so here I'm going to say disable when the node env is in development. Okay, I'm going to just press tab with the help of AI, and you see that it says disable when the process.env is development. And then we are going to add that process.env here, .env.local, and boom. And then what we are going to be doing next, just node env to be development. Okay, in development, it should not run all the time because each time that it runs, it removes this service workers files and then it generates again. So it's a lot of load. Okay, it only will be enabled while we are in the production. Okay, and right now if I go to here, see that these things didn't change anything here. The reason is behind that thing. Okay. All right, so that's for the PWA, and hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.